The person you haven't forgiven is you. Not for what they did, but for the version of you you decided was unworthy. We talk about forgiving others. We talk about releasing resentment towards partners, parents, betrayal, injustice. But the deeper resentment that shapes your life most quietly is the resentment you hold toward yourself. This is not loud. It is not dramatic, but it's structural. It shows up in how you drive yourself or how you hold yourself back. And until that is seen clearly, forgiveness never completes. For decades, I was at war with myself. It didn't look chaotic. Rather, it looked disciplined. I ran thousands of miles. I won 12 natural world championship bodybuilding titles. I trained hard through injuries. I pushed well past exhaustion. I depleted my body to extremes during competition week so the muscle lines would pop and show. You don't win 12 world championship titles without pushing beyond reason. Water depletion, cutting off water in the final week before competition was the hardest. No water, very little water, no water in the last few days, and minimal sodium to dry the body out so the definition really pops. One competition I remember really stands out in my mind. The morning show was finished and we had a break before evening judging. A photographer friend insisted on driving me back to the hotel where we were staying. I wanted to walk, but we drove. And in the elevator, he asked quietly, "Are you going to get some ice chips? Let's go get some ice chips." So bodybuilders sometimes suck on ice to stretch the dehydration. I said no. And he walked me to the ice machine anyway. He looked at me calmly and said, "Your tongue is swollen and yellow. You look like you're about to collapse." My first reaction was defensive. I'm fine, I've done this before. Then I saw his face. Not dramatic, just truly concerned for my well-being. And in that instant, the pride in me collapsed. And then fear started to rise. I suddenly felt how far I had pushed. I could feel the dizziness, the dryness, the edge, and I could actually perceive my own mental delusion that he was mirroring to me. I sat quietly with him and began sipping on some water. And the sentence that ran through my head was clear. Who am I without this fight? That was the real moment, not the dehydration, the identity. If I'm not the one who pushes beyond everyone, if I'm not the one who suffers more, if I'm not the strongest in the room, who am I? Underneath all of it was something simple and truly raw. I was trying to prove I was worthy. And I was angry at myself for ever feeling useless or unworthy in the first place. So I punished that unworthy version of me. Be stronger, push harder, never collapse again. That was self-resentment in motion. Self-resentment is anger toward a former version of yourself. The one who felt small, the one who didn't know, the one who tolerated, the one who hesitated, the one who stayed, the one who feared. And in those moments you make a vow, I will never be that again. And externally, so often the vow looks like growth. But if it's fueled by contempt, as it was in my case, it becomes punishment. You build an identity in opposition to your former self. And that identity shapes everything. Now, not everyone over pushes. Most people don't punish themselves the way I did. Some don't over push. Instead, they underlive. They avoid change. They avoid intimacy. They avoid risk. They don't take the trip. They don't go out on the date. They don't publish the work. They don't speak the truth. They don't step forward when they know they are called. They stay small. And underneath that restraint is something just as sharp as over-discipline. Self-resentment. It sounds like, I should be further by now, or I wasted time, or I don't trust myself, or I missed my moment. So instead of risking failure again, they freeze. For some people, self-resentment says, I will never be weak again, so I'll dominate. For others, it says, I will never risk looking foolish again, so I'll shrink. These are different expressions, but they have the same root. A past self judged as inadequate. The overachiever outruns. The avoider withholds. And both are reacting to a former version of themselves. Both are controlled by a vow. I don't want to feel that ever, ever, ever again. And until that former self is forgiven, the future stays constrained. After that competition, something shifted. I didn't stop training. I didn't collapse into softness. I stopped punishing myself. I worked hard, but in joy. Now, there's a difference between discipline fueled by anger and discipline fueled by love. One feels tight and the other feels grounded. That day, sipping on the water, I realized I didn't need to destroy my body to prove my worth. And I didn't need to keep attacking the former version of me who once felt so desperately unworthy. That was self-forgiveness, not simply emotional, but rather structural. Self-resentment always sounds like this. How could I have been so weak? I should have known. I betrayed myself. But growth is real. And the truth is that at the time, you acted from the level of awareness available to you then. If you demand that your past self operate with your current level of consciousness, you're denying evolution. You split yourself. Forgiveness reunites timelines. It says, the version of me did the best she or he could with what was known then, and I do not need to punish them anymore. Ask yourself, where am I still reacting to a former version of me? Is my drive coming from love or from anger? Am I pushing to prove, or am I shrinking to avoid? Place your attention on your body. Does your movement feel tight or grounded? You can be strong without being at war with yourself. You can rest without collapsing. You can take risks without proving, and you can expand without punishing. That is self-forgiveness. So you may well forgive the world at large, but if you're still angry at your former self, resentment will regenerate in new forms. Forgiveness is the soul remembering it was never broken. Forgiveness is embodied freedom. If you're ready to do this work at the deepest level, I've linked the Wild Truth Path course below this video for you, and you'll also find a free guided initiation to support you in releasing resentment and anger from the body.